Feathers of Fire, simply put, is really a show like no other. A spectacular shadow theater, and it's playing to sold-out crowds in the US, Asia, and Europe. The creator is award-winning filmmaker, designer, and illustrator Hamid Rahmanian, born and educated in Iran.
I exposed to the work of Lotte Reiniger. He's a German animator who made the first feature-length animation in 1926 entitled The Adventure of Prince Ahmed. Which is really beautiful. So I watched that and I thought, oh my God, I want to make something like that.
Back at Castle, Zol's father Som was restless. His nights were sleepless and filled with shame and guilt.
160 puppets with 8 actors and 137 animated backgrounds, and we performed in the giant screen.
You raised me when my own kind left me to die.
You must grow into your own shape.
It's based on the ancient Persian epic, Shahnameh, or the Book of Kings. It's a masterpiece written more than 1,000 years ago by one of the world's great poets, Ferdowsi.
This is the fairy tales that in Western world we can compare it to the Rapunzel or Romeo and Juliet and Jungle Book.
My lady.
My love.
I didn't know how lonely I was until I met you.
It's the longest poem written by a single poet. People who are exposed to Lord of the Ring or the Star Wars, Game of Thrones also enjoy this epic story.
Oscar-winning director Francis Ford Coppola calls it one of the great epics of all time, brought to life in a spectacular fashion. He saw Feathers of Fire 3 times when it was running in San Francisco.
He came to the backstage once when we were rehearsing, and then when we opened up, he came again, sat down backstage, and once he came, was kind enough to sit in the front.
The production, the elaborate puppets that took months to construct, is a labor of love for Rahmanian, who brings together a host of talent from across the globe.
And how do you think the Asian culture, the Persian culture, the ancient Silk Road from many, many years ago, does it all come together in Feathers of Fire?
Yeah, this the visually beautiful and the sound, the music is beautiful, and also in China there's puppetry, historical art form. So this is a perfect piece that combines those two cultures. We connect through art, and very deeply that we believe that art can
bridge the differences.
Yeah, and it can bring us together and also work together as a team.
And Feathers of Fire is not Rahmanian's only project.
It is the very first Iranian stories turned to a pop-up.
Seriously, Hamid, this is like a work of art.
And all these feathers is it everything?
Who did all the illustrations?
These are mine. But I designed it and I illustrated, and Simon did the mechanics. So these are, and all of them they have feathers. So each book has its own feather.
This should be done in Chinese.
Yes, we did in we did in French edition, which came up last year. The English is coming next week. So yeah, some of the pages are really like, look at this.
Amazing. Wow.
So we start with the book, and then it became a small puppet show, another puppet show, that we have shadow puppet show, and then we had the pop-up book, and then we had the Feathers of Fire.
And as a team, Feathers of Fire will head to Paris, Beijing, and Shanghai this year in hopes of dazzling crowds there.
Why China?
They have a, as I said, flourishing tradition. Beautiful. You have to see the craftsmanship of some of these shadow puppets in China. It's just mind-blowing. And I'm really excited to perform for the people who actually really understand and exposed to this form of art, storytelling.
A unique form of storytelling, years of planning, excruciating 17-hour days that Rahmanian says comes with a price.
Making art is love. It's like having a lover. You have to be ready to die for her or him. So for your art is also, you have to be ready to sacrifice yourself, your wealth, your house, your health, I mean everything.
The elder of the Serpent Clan, the Honorable Merab, Governor of Kabul.
3, 2, wake up!
But for Rahmanian, an Iranian American, it's also about something bigger.
When they leave the theater, they're leaving with something very, first of all, they feel their soul is being cleansed, as they wash their souls. And then they get something that they have something to compare with when they go sit down in front of the TV and hear something bad about Middle East or Iran. Now they have something good to compare with.
Opening hearts and minds and entertaining crowds, one performance at a time.